Hi guys, first one of these I've done for a while. So we're well into 2019 now, we're in the second month already, in February. Time flies, it's incredible. And I normally get like a little bit nostalgic around this period because I have the privilege of working with a lot of young people. And they're the ones who are finishing high school this year, they're starting the push towards their final exams. You know, it takes me back to a very exciting period of life. They're at that moment where they're making some very important decisions about their future. So I'm going to do a little reminisce to start with. And unfortunately, it also throws up a few little tendencies and issues which I've noticed over the last few years, which are worrying me a little bit and maybe are providing me with a little bit of a dilemma. So I'll be asking for your help, see what you think about that. Stay tuned. So yeah, that period when you're 18 years old, it's a hell of a lot of fun. You know, it takes me back whenever they start telling me stories about what's happening in their lives. It's all driving lessons, driving tests, 1,000,001 18th birthday parties, crazy nights, and you know, that great summer before people go away to university and stuff. Well, they're not there yet, of course, but it just takes me back, whatever it would be, 18 years. Yeah, to that period, and it kind of makes me feel happy and it kind of makes me feel sad because yeah, it was a long time ago, but it was a real blast. It was so much fun, and you know, you can see the world kind of at your feet. Everything is in front of you, and it's a period of great optimism, and it's a period I didn't remember it so much like this because you know, I was an awful student, I was lazy, but for these people who I'm working with now, teaching English to, it's a period of great strain. Maybe it's increased over the years. You know, I never felt it that much because I was, as I say, a pretty bad student pre-university and not much better when I was there. So, although I managed to come out with respectable qualifications, I certainly wasn't dedicated as much as I should have been. But I noticed the young people here, wow, they are tuned in and they're working so hard. It's actually quite embarrassing to see how hard they work because it puts my efforts back in the day to shame. But they work so hard and they are so stressed. They arrive at the classroom just absolutely exhausted when I do these classes. And you can see just the absolute pressure that they're under. Exams, 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 and coursework and coursework and coursework. And I don't envy that, really, poor things. But more than that, probably more than that particular stress, is the stress they've got to make a decision now about their future. And that kind of is what is bothering me a little bit. I think I've told this story in one of my previous videos. I'll just recap it briefly, but about a year ago I was teaching a class, and a young guy, about 18 years of age, he was in his final year at school, and he came to me and he was just, you know, talking about the future, what's going to be happening in the next couple of years. And I said, well, you know, university next year, it's going to be fun, right? And he said, well, I don't particularly think I want to go. But my parents are set that I'm going to go, and that's kind of it. But I really don't know my options. I really don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life. And I'll be honest, since then it's bothered me. It's bothered me a lot, that conversation, because I sometimes just feel that I bottled it. And you know, one of the things I'm asking today, or if people want to comment on it, is how much teachers should impact on those kinds of decisions that students have to make. I feel that I bottled it. You know, I kind of told him to toe the line. I was saying things like, well, you know, you've got some options. You can get a job. You could go traveling for a year, take a year out. But, you know, you should probably get into university. Your parents know what's best for you. And look, I'm kind of bound by, you know, ethics to say that because I can't go against what someone's parents are telling them, basically. It's a tough one, and it's just been in my head continually since then. And although I shouldn't have said, you know, ignore what your parents say, ignore what your teachers are saying. I do feel that a lot of these youngsters aren't getting the options explained to them that they should, and that maybe I should have done more. I really don't know, but it is bothering me, and I do feel, you know, when I think about it, I look in the mirror, I look in the camera, and I think, you bottled it. You did, you've let him down, and there's no worse feeling than letting one of your students down when they're looking for help and you don't give it to them. Yeah. So that's kind of one of my questions, is what do people think about that? What do you think about a teacher's impact on what students should do? Is it our responsibility to be outlining different options to students? Should we just be saying, you know, toe the line, follow your parents' advice, follow what the school wants you to do, get into a program at university or wherever it may be? Or should we be outlining more and more options? You know, this side project that I do with the videos and the website, whatever, a huge part of it, it's not just teaching English to people, it's giving people options. I've always been a big believer in options, and you know, I was never pressured into going to university. I was happy to go, and you know, I felt it was best for me when I went. But there's so many people who go because they're kind of pushed into it, and they don't want to do it, and they come back later maybe, and they just feel that they haven't fulfilled what they should be doing. And it's something that's weighing on my mind at the moment, and I'd be very, very interested to know what other people think about it. So as a very good prepared individual that I am, I've even got a list of stuff. You know, I'm talking about options. What options are you saying, Tom? Well, I've got a little list here. You know, I don't push these on my students because I don't want angry parents phoning up saying, stop putting ideas at my kid's head, you idiot, or any of this, but I think there are plenty of options for young people when they are at that age. So, you know, if you are a person watching this of that age, or if you're a parent, you know, consider some of this stuff, man, because it's not bad. They're just ideas. The first one I made a note of was a year out, or a working visa. You know, especially the working visa, going abroad for a year and you know, working your way, learning how to be independent. It's a great thing. I did it when I was 23. So I was a little bit older, but anyone could do it at the age of 18, 19 as well. I saw plenty of people doing that. And it's character building. It's a really good thing. I think sometimes we rush into higher education, like universities and stuff, before we're even ready. And, you know, you end up doing something that you don't particularly want to do. And, you know, if you take your time, develop your character a little bit, you can come back and do it later. There's no rush. You know, this generation, even more the next generation, they're going to be working until I don't know what age, probably 70 or 70 plus. So there's going to be time for it. There's time for everything. Another option would be to work. You know, it's the old one, right? Get a job, finish school and go and get a job. Why not? A lot of my students laugh. You know, if I jokingly suggest that, then they go, no, not doing that, because you know, they don't see the benefit of it. But yeah, getting experience, you know, learning how to interact with customers, doing all that sort of stuff, it is valid, even if you're not going to do that job forever, or if it's not directly connected to the career that you foresee for yourself. Still, it doesn't matter. It's still good experience. College, you know, it doesn't have to be a university. Go and get a professional trade, professional training. There's a lot of snobbery still, that because it's not academic, in inverted commas, that it doesn't hold as much value, but of course it does. The world needs tradespeople. Every community needs tradespeople, plumbers, electricians, or whatever, any form of professional training. If you're not, you know, including myself, I'm not an academic, but I'm not practical either, so I was kind of lost on that one. But if someone's more practically minded, yeah, why not? Go learn a trade and go make some money. Last one, I've got online courses as well. So many different options online. In the past, that was kind of sneered at, I think. You know, something that you do online is not really valid. It's not a valid certification. But now, you know, it's 2019. So much stuff is online. A lot of stuff for free that you can do online courses. Even if it just helps you find your way into something that you do like doing, or your child into something that they like to do. then surely it's got to be beneficial. If they are asking those questions like, do I have to go to university? Do I have to follow this path? It's not that any path is right or wrong, it's just having those options, having those possibilities and exploring them. There's so much. The internet's brought us a lot, and I'd highly recommend that people do look at that before they make any final decision about their future. So that's it. I've got all my thoughts out of my head. I'll be very interested to know what you think. If you're a parent especially, would you flip if teachers are explaining different options to students? If you're a student, do you feel that you have options available to you, or is it the generic path? And I say generic path, and I don't mean that negatively, okay? Like, there is no right or wrong path. It's just trying to find your way in life, because everyone's different and we all arrive at the same place, but the way we do it, we can all tell our own unique story, and it's all about enjoying it as much as we can along the way. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. It's been the first blog for a while, and I feel like I've done therapy. Thanks for listening, and any comments, I really do appreciate it, and hopefully we'll speak soon. Take it easy.